Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Bitcoin Moneymaker. Thank you for stopping by. Today, we will be, of course, looking at Bitcoin and Ethereum, but we're also going to be taking a look at a chart from HighBlock where the short positions and the long positions are listed. I found some interesting data there that I wanted to share with you guys, so we'll look at that as well. And as you can see already on the screen here for Bitcoin, we are looking at the daily chart where we have a pattern that is making rounds around social media, and that is a huge falling wedge, one that of course as it moves forward it continues to get smaller and smaller, and eventually because it is a bullish pattern, then have a breakout in the price. But again, this is the daily chart, so it's not one move. We cannot expect that there's going to be a move in a day, but rather time will go back and past, and we might move into this area here where we find some resistance sometime in June or July with our 800 EMA line over here. So the price or Bitcoin could be cooling off until then, and the numbers are announced from the Federal Reserve, and you could see another drop back into the lower support line of this pattern. So that is of course a possibility, but again, another possibility here is that we see some movement here in this fashion, where eventually around the time that the numbers are announced, then we see the drop down to our 200 weekly EMA line as well. The support line has already been 3 times here, which is a positive sign, and also the top, the resistance line has been also tested twice already. So we can see that we can expect that at least in the near future, at some point we're going to retest the top and maybe possibly go and head back down to the bottom and retest once again the lower support here. But in any case, now let's move over to the 4-hour chart and take a look at what's happening here, which actually, looking at the last couple of days, not a whole lot has happened. We are moving in this range. We had a fake out over here, tested our 50 EMA line, and we're just moving sideways, as you can see here. Again, we have a very tight range that we are moving in, which is this area here, again with the fake out. And that's pretty much it. This is what I expected would happen. You see, we do have some very good support coming from our $28,900 level, which is from July and also here in June of last year. And so again, we are just basically moving sideways and have been doing so for the last couple of days. As you can see here, there were some people who said that there was going to be a head and shoulders pattern. I said at the time, I don't really think this pattern is going to play out because no patterns have been reaching their target prices in the recent months. So, and that's exactly what happened. I mean, we retested our 50 EMA line with this fake out, but again, we went back down to just move inside this small range here, and that is where we are at the moment. You can also see that our 13 and 20 EMA lines are very, very close to each other, moving almost horizontally, and that means there's going to be a price move very soon. If we look at the RSI, or the relative strength index indicator here on the daily chart, we see that the price currently remains very, very undersold. And you can see here, starting all the way back from the start of the year until now. And when we look at the weekly chart, you also see there's still some room to still go lower. The previous point where we went so low was here at the start of the pandemic, when the coronavirus was first discovered. And previous to that was all the way back here in 2018 in December. And that is again the only time, I guess, in the past where we've gone all the way down to 29 points. Once we reach that level, I definitely will open new long positions. But we have to pay attention and see what happens with the economy. I personally think when next month the interest rates will be raised again, then we most likely will head down to the obligatory $25,000 level. Now, going back to our 4 hour chart, you see the RSI is cooling off. We might head back down to our 30-point line, but we are currently at 50 points. And as you can see, we are basically just moving here sideways again. $35,500, $32,600, and $30,800 more or less are the three resistance levels that we have if the price decides to move upward. I think the first resistance, of course, will be our 100 EMA line, and then if everything goes well, then again our $35,000 line. But that all depends on how the markets perform. If they drop, then as you already know from watching my videos, then most likely Bitcoin will follow suit. So we have to be very careful there as well. And now let's go over and take a look at Ethereum real quick. And here too, we are moving in a sideways fashion, but we do have to be careful not to be forming a triple top over here, which is a chart pattern that is bearish in nature and could drive the whole price back to lower levels. So we have to, of course, keep that in mind. But we are moving inside this range of $2,159 and $1,953. Important also here is that we are not creating new lower lows. As you can see, that's also positive. And what we can see here is that the uptrend move is getting a bit weaker. We can go ahead and draw a resistance line over here. We can go ahead and delete this line and maybe draw one down here to create a falling or asymmetrical triangle, excuse me. But I really don't think that this is the case, because you can see a bunch of times this line has already been pierced, and right now again these patterns don't really play out the way that you expect them to. So either way, this resistance line very important, however, and you should, if you want, add it to your 4 hour chart as well. So if we do manage to push through that, then we could be seeing the $2,300 or $2,200 and $2,300 price levels very soon. Now on this long chart, or this chart for long positions, you can see that we are still at a very high amount of long positions for Bitcoin, and that goes connected to this chart from High Block. Basically $10 billion worth of long positions ready in the market. And you can see here that, there's also a lot of short positions to be had as well. But here the market makers have a possibility, and that is that regardless in which direction they go, if they push the price up or if they push the price down, they will still get liquidity from what that could trigger. So very interesting here what you can see with both sides of the coin, if you will, and that of course would cause a reaction in the market as well. You can see a lot of people are, even in their positions that they've opened, there are 50 and 100x in leverage, which is amazing. So something I wanted to bring to you. And here in the crypto fear and greed index, we have 12 points today. That means, of course, we haven't gotten up by a whole lot. Yesterday we have 8 points, and that just means if we look at the yearly chart here, that we are inside this very short range of 10 and 5 points. Something that if we look at the max graphic here, the last time that we had something like that was back in in March of 2021. And previous to that, the lowest point was in August of 2019. So here too is an indicator, and I'd be interested to hear from you guys what your position is. Of course, a lot of people are using this opportunity to accumulate more Bitcoin, And I'd be interested to hear from you in the comments below. What is your situation? Are you for accumulating right now and you're gonna keep doing it? Are you more for selling, or are you also just waiting for the price to go even lower before you start, buying more Bitcoin? Or what is your plan? I'd be very, very interested to hear feedback from you guys. Now let's go ahead and take a look at also what is happening with Luna, of course. That's a subject that has been very hot in the last couple of days. And so I wanted to take a look here on the 15-minute chart. You see that also here, after the plan for recovery, or the plan for how things were going to be in the future was announced, we continue to move here in a sideways fashion. As you can clearly see here, I personally expected that this was going to be, we were going to have a drop, but that's not what has happened. People are actually not selling their coins, and there's still some hope, I guess, of recovery, which is why you have this sideways move here. Of course, there are some who are even hoping that there will be a final pump or a massive dump before the whole thing finally expires in history, if you will. So anyway, very, very interesting here to see what will happen. And that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Excuse my voice today was a bit, my throat was hurting, but anyway, have a great day. Bye bye.